I don't think there's an excuse for modern day anime fans to stick solely with what they're watching because we had less resources and less accessibility back in our day, but that didn't keep us from watching older anime. How many of us were watching Galactic Heroes and older Gundams and shows that came out in the 90s when Full Metal Alchemist was new and Cowboy Bebop was new and all of these other series? Nowadays, it seems like if shows are older than 5 or 10 years, they're not watching it. Anything before Hunter x Hunter, before Madoka, before like the 2011 peak, which I think was like the last great year of anime, you see a lot of newer anime fans refuse to watch it. I've had some fans say that the best shonen they've ever seen is Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm like, that's a fucking shame because
What?
there's so much better stuff. And but the thing is, like that's the argument today. Is there value in classic anime in a world where anime is so mainstream compared to current anime that is made for now? It's made to look flashy. It's made to look good on every single device, whether it's mobile or big screen. It's all about like the sounds and fast pace. It's a completely different monster than what we had before. But what exists now is eradicating the past instead of embracing it.
Yeah, I mean that's a big statement. I mean, but I agree with you a lot, but I also like to, oh, it's so hard to say because like, yeah, I fully agree in terms of like they have way more accessibility, but I feel like because like media and social media, they just always are being shown these really popular creators or like artists who draw from that series or animes or fandoms or whatever. That's all they're being fed. So when you have like 50 tweets or 50 whatever of being like Jujutsu Kaisen, and then one tweet's like, oh, watch this anime, they're gonna be like, whatever, no one else is talking about it, so why should I check it out? So I don't know. And I feel like that kind of delves into the really kind of derogatory like fake anime fan, which is like it's a freaking anime, it's geeky, who cares? But I also am like, Full Metal Alchemist, it's fucking A. Like, you should watch it, right? Like, it's my favorite. And they'd be like, I never heard of it. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. But they don't know where to watch it. Well, I mean, like, FMA is a bad one because it was on Netflix. But, like other animes, like, but there's so many websites that you can watch it, right? Crunchyroll does have a lot, but they don't have a lot at the same time. Like, I didn't get viruses on my old tower computer looking up anime for you to, like, not watch this stuff. Like, I walk so you could run.
Yo, we're pioneers. Y'all have to
Yeah.
respect us and our efforts.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I really do hope that something good comes out of this because I love anime and I am a huge weeb. I'm a shameless weeb. And I'm happy that everyone could be into anime nowadays. But when people's favorite mech is Darling in the Franxx and they've never watched Ava, they've never watched Razafon,
Cross.
oh my god, they don't know what that is, and that to me is so sad because there's so much more to it. Like idols have always existed in anime, and even though
Oh,
they're not as
yes.
flashy as before, check out the idols from the 80s and the 90s. Check out the idols from the 2000 era, which was peak. Now it's whatever you have today, the idols of today, and that's all.
I wear my Idol Master shirt because I just love them so much. But
Oh
yeah,
my
like,
god, you're A1.
yeah, like, oh my God, they've always been around, and obviously with Love Live, as a major Love Live fan myself, like when it peaked, it's like so much other stuff. And I was like, I guess it's weird because like when I wanted to explore more idols, but I don't see that now. It's so to me, I don't really get it because I did that. I wanted to explore older stuff and understand the older stuff. But now I just don't see that at all, which is just, it's weird. I don't get it at the same time. Yeah, and they never hear about it. It's like you don't like, but it's good. Ah, it's weird, that's for sure. I know, like, it's because to me when I watched Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like, oh, this follows the shonen like format to a T,
To a
like just
T.
to a T. And I'm like, and I enjoy it to an extent. Like, it's good. I do enjoy it. But like when I think about other stuff and the manga being fast paced, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, not the best.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Let people enjoy what they like, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, people also enjoy what they like.
What do you think anime will look like by 2030?
2030? More isekais, for sure.
Blah.
Do you mean in terms of like the community or
What are your views? Like, do you think it's going to be popular to the point where everyone is having like certain cosplays in their wardrobe that they alternate between like regular clothing, like the same way people wore Naruto headbands and they used to get looked at. It'll be a normal piece of fashion. Do you think that anime will be so normal that it will be nominated for the mainstream awards? Or will it always be
Ooh,
that niche thing? Like we've seen it happen with comic books and like comic book movies, but anime, especially with what Demon Slayer had done, I think there is potential for it to be seen as mainstream.
that okay, yeah. I mean, with for example, like Studio Ghibli and like things like that are very popular and very like well known. But when it comes to like when I think about like normies and that and like seeing anime, I don't think it will be like I think it'd be more accepted, but I don't think it's going to be like the norm at the same time. Like I can see because I like to see animation too as like a form of art. So when I see something that's like, being nominated in like a normie like thing, I'm like, wow, this is great because animation's a really lost art form in my opinion. But despite it being also really popular, I guess it's not as appreciated as like it should be. So when I think about anime in 2013 and like those around me, maybe I mean I already see a bunch of people always having geeky things on them even now, but maybe I'm just not around that realm of like other people who aren't into it ever. Like I'm never, if I am, it's probably just work. And even then, I kind of just see them as like the same aesthetics as like other people. Like they kind of follow the trends, and it's like I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not too sure. I just don't think it's gonna be like, hey, you guys know about Naruto? Like the normal person might not even know about that. You know what I mean? It's so hard to say.
I look forward to whatever change comes about. It'll definitely lead to a lot of interesting conversations.
Yeah, I think definitely it's already been a very interesting conversations, especially in I would say the past 2 years. I mean, it's like TikTok like exploding and everyone having different opinions and takes. It's just like there's already 50 million conversations going on at once. And it's really weird and interesting to see at the same time. I don't really try to involve myself. I just try to like read it and go, okay, cool. And then I keep moving. But if that keeps, it's so, I don't know. Because like when I went where I went to school was a very like it wasn't a, it's almost like a small town. I live in Toronto, but it was not it wasn't a common thing. But I know to other people there was way more of like a community of anime fans when they went to middle school, but not for me. It was probably like me and like two other friends.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so but like they just like, oh, they like the geeky stuff. They like the anime stuff. So it was just kind of seen as like that's just them and that's their own little clique, but it was never seen as normal, I guess.